they are required already. Yeah. So here we go, that introduction to clustering approach. First we give the definition and then we'll go slowly. Cluster analysis or clustering is to discover the natural grouping of a set of pattern points or objects. Okay, so here the natural grouping is very important. Okay, so clustering analysis is to discover the natural grouping of a set of pattern points and objects. Okay, so this definition was is widely known to the what is called is clustering community, or maybe you can say data mining community or pattern recognition community and so on. But this definition has a quite problem. So natural grouping. So how does computer identify that which one is natural? As far as the natural word natural goes, then it may differ between two human beings. Which one is natural to? So let's say we can say is the let's say how do we define natural? Sometimes it may looks to me this is natural, and maybe some other time for to other guys it may not be natural to him. So therefore natural grouping means what? That means that more than one object should locate or should look similar or something like that. Okay, so that in that context one may differ from the others. So one can say, okay, these 4 or 5 objects look similar. Okay, so they can put in a group, and some other guy can say is out of the 5 objects only 3 look similar. So then we can put the 3 and another 2 is different. So therefore natural grouping is quite not very quantified. So therefore this definition is not widely accepted, at least as far as the computation concerned. So therefore we go to the next definition. So clustering activity or cluster analysis is to find group of patterns. So you please note that natural grouping is removed by the how they have removed that to find group of patterns called cluster. So the group of pattern is called the cluster in such a way that grouping should be formed in such a way that pattern in a cluster are more similar to each other than pattern in distinct clusters. Okay, so what natural is removed, and then how we quantify this one, how we we define in such a way that at least computer can proceed computation can be done is something like that. Find group of patterns called clusters. Okay, group of patterns are called cluster such a way that patterns or objects in a clusters are more similar to each other than objects in distinct clusters. So you can remove the word pattern by the set of object, so that you can remove it. Okay, so let us remove it this one by the objects. So cluster activity or cluster analysis is to find group of objects. Okay, group of objects that is called the cluster in such a way that objects in a cluster are more similar to each other than the object in distinct clusters. Okay, so that means if you form a group of clusters within a group, the objects will be more similar than the if you take 2 objects from the different groups. Now why this is much easier to understand for human being as well as the computer with compared to the earlier definition. So here that natural word we removed by using the word if the both objects are more similar, then we'll say is they are alike. Okay, otherwise not. So then we have studied a lot of similarity measures in earlier classes. So therefore those could be used to identify the similarity between 2 objects in a data set. So therefore this definition is something called operational definition of clustering. Okay, so now CG, for to understand this one is we underline the word similar. Okay, so therefore we once we can compute the similarity between object to object, then we possibly can find clusters of we can possibly perform the cluster analysis. So now we need to focus on how to compute the similarity. Okay, so that also we studied earlier. Yeah. Okay. So before moving to the similarity part, so we'll give the definition of clustering from different angle. Sometimes it is called the set theoretic angle. Let's say D is the set of objects, as you understand the set of objects, and obviously this is called data set that we studied earlier. Okay, and then each object is represented by a set of features, or this is something called dimension. So a clustering of the data can be defined as follows. What is that? So clustering is nothing but the partition. You must have studied what is partition in discrete maths and maybe somewhere else. So, or maths class. So here that partition is nothing but a set of what is called a C1, C2, Ck. This is a partition where each C1, C2, Ck is also set of objects. Okay. Whenever this set of object, if you take the union, then you will get the original data set. Another interesting for this set, that is C1, C2, is a subset of the object D. If you take the intersection, okay, if you take the intersection, you will get null, okay, and none of the objects will be the null set. So null of the set will be the null set. That means at least there should be one object. And lastly, that is similarity between two objects from the same cluster x1, x2, where x1, x2 belong to the same cluster Ci. Similarity between two objects from the same cluster will be greater than the similarity between two objects from two different clusters. Each is taken from different clusters. So x1 is taken from Ci, and then yi taken from the Cj. So if this condition satisfied, then we can say this pi is a partition or clustering of the data set D. So please note that the word clustering is synonym to the partition. However, C1 is a cluster, pi is a clustering, and the technique itself is called the clustering technique. So there are three terms you should use, and I will be using many times, but in the right context, you should take them in right context. One is what? Clustering. We are talking about the clustering techniques. Okay. And then what is the output of the clustering technique? That is also called clustering. So that is nothing but the partition of the data, partition from the discrete mathematics point of view. Partition is nothing but the subset of the objects, subset of the objects. So if D is the data set, so its corresponding subset if you take, so that is C1, C2, Ck. Okay. So there are two terms, and each C1 is called the cluster. So two terms, one is entire result is called clustering, technique is called clustering, and individual subset is called cluster. That is, individual group is called cluster. Okay. So there are many applications in biology, information retrieval, market research, geological mapping, bioinformatics, climate, web mining, image processing, and so on. So as I said in last class, similarity between two objects are taken from the same class will be greater than the similarity between two objects taken from the two different classes. So therefore, we should know how to compute the similarity between a pair of objects. And probably all these things have been we studied earlier. That is, similarity between a pair of pattern x and y in the data set is a mapping, is nothing but the function. Sorry, it is a function from the d cross d to 0 to 1. So it will map to the 0. It will be formed between 0 to 1. Okay, and it has two arguments, and it will map to 0 to 1. So that is we have studied. So therefore, no need to spend much time for studying this part. So we have a simple matching. We have Jaccard coefficient. We have cosine similarity, and then we talk about dissimilarity, and then we talk about the metric space and so on. Now we'll start the topic clustering. Okay. So there are many clustering approach in the literature. So maybe first clustering approach was reported in the mid of the last century. So in between say 1950 to 1960. So today is more than say 70, 80 years and we'll have the more than 1,000 clustering algorithm. Okay. So these entire clustering algorithm over the time are divided from the different angle. So one major angle is partitional clustering, another is hierarchical clustering. So one major angle is that how many partition a clustering algorithm is producing. That means it is a single clustering. Please note that clustering is nothing but a partition. Okay, I said. Okay, so therefore, if one clustering approach produce a single clustering, so that is oftenly called the partitional clustering or flat clustering. On the other hand, if a clustering approach produce multiple clustering, then that clustering approach is called the hierarchical clustering approach. So in case of the partitional clustering approach creates a single clustering of the given data set. Okay. So let's say pi equal to C1, C2, C2. So this is a single clustering. And let C1, C2 be two clustered in a clustering. Then what you do? No one will be this relation subset to superset. Okay. And intersection of C1 and C2 will be null. So if that condition is there, then we will say ki this clustering approach is called the partitional clustering. We'll see few example also. However, for rough and fuzzy clustering approach, it's violate the constraint too. So therefore, intersection between and C1, C2 may not be null always. Classic definition says ki this should be null. However, for a variant of clustering approach, that is fuzzy clustering approach, so this may not be null. Okay. Now, on the other hand, hierarchical clustering approach, hierarchical clustering method creates a sequence of partitional clustering of the data set. So instead of producing single clustering, it produces the multiple clustering of the given data set. So if that is the situation, that is something called sequential clustering method. So as if you are running the partitional clustering many times, and then you ended up with the hierarchical clustering method. Okay. So as you understand the complexity of the time complexity of the hierarchical method is much more than the partitional clustering. So this is one example. Left side we have a data set. On the right side we got the three groups. Okay. So this is three groups all together form a single clustering. Okay. So therefore this is a example. This is an example of partitional clustering. Okay. Next example is hierarchical clustering. So we have a data set. We have a data set here. Okay. Now what we do? We apply the hierarchical clustering method. So we apply the hierarchical clustering method, and then we got two clustering. So this is one clustering or one partition. This is another clustering. So here what we see is this is one cluster and this is another cluster. So this clustering has two clusters, whereas this clustering has three clusters. Whereas the previous one cluster is again divided into two. So in this situation, this is something called hierarchical clustering. Okay, we'll see the example later on also. Now, we started talking with clustering approach, and then we say ki one viewpoint of dividing the clustering approach is how many clustering one clustering approach is producing. So either it is a single or it is multiple. If it is single, so then it is called partitional clustering. If it is multiple, then it is called the what is called is hierarchical clustering approach. So in case of the partitional clustering approach, so we'll talk about very simple clustering approach is something called basic sequential algorithmic scheme or BSAS. This was introduced long back, maybe in 70s or something like that. It was not reported in right way. So, but this algorithm is very simple to understand, and this has been also getting popular due to this big data scenario. So let us understand this clustering approach, that is BAS. So BAS needs two user specified parameter. One is the distance threshold, another is number of clusters. So suppose I have a set of students. I want to categorize the student into 2 or 3 categories. Okay. So whether we want to get, because we don't have any training data set. So now I need to specify whether should I divide the student into 2 categories or 3 categories. Okay. Let's say if I divide the students into 3 categories, then maybe based on their academic what is called degree, based on their program, we can divide the student into 3 categories, but we have to do without knowing any what is called the training information prior. We have to do that. Let's say entire students we can divide into 2. Okay, let's say in my class we can divide into 2 classes. Two what is called is, we do not say the class, we say is the cluster. Class generally used for the classification, and cluster is used for the unsupervised learning or clustering technique. So if we obtain 2 clusters, then maybe one cluster may go to, let's say, undergraduate, that is UG BTech student, another can go for the postgraduate. Now even we go for the further, it may happen that undergraduate student consists only the BTech, and then postgraduate student consists of masters and the PhD. If you go further, maybe among the undergraduate student, we can divide the student into, again, based on the subjects they opted, we can divide again the students. So let's say project for 1 year. So obviously we can distinguish whether it is BTech student or the final year student, and during project there won't be any coursework. So therefore we can again divide the student among undergraduate student. We can divide again, you see, dual degree student or BTech student. So therefore, so how many cluster we want? Many clustering algorithm expect that user should provide the number of cluster they want from the out of this data set. So therefore one parameter is the number of clusters. Another parameter is something called the distance threshold. It is actually, distance threshold is, it is expecting that distance from one cluster to another cluster. Okay. So therefore 2 parameters needs to provide to this clustering approach. Now once somehow we identify these 2 parameters, then we should proceed for the algorithm can work for identifying the cluster in the data set. See, if I say the 2 cluster, it's not solving our problem, because we don't know the which point will go to which cluster. So therefore this algorithm is very simple algorithm, that is, consider that is the first point I, and it is assigned to a first cluster. Ci is 1. It is as first point is assigned to the first cluster. Okay, I have k cluster. I want the k cluster, so it is assigned first point to the first cluster. Now rest of the data point, what do you do? Find the nearest existing cluster Cmin such that distance from X to Cmin is the minimum among all the distances from X to all other clusters. Okay. So did you understand this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what you do it? So from the rest of the point, you compute the distance from the point to the all other clusters. So here you have only one cluster. From the beginning, you have only one cluster. So you compute the distance. Okay. So there is no other choice. So this is the distance minimum, because there is only one cluster. Now what you do it? You see whether this distance, that is computed distance from the point x2 to the x1, because first cluster consists only one point, that is x1. If that is the scenario, then what you do it, if that distance is greater than tau and number of cluster is also lesser than the user specified threshold, then what you do it, you assign the point to the cluster. That means that point is close to the cluster, so it looks that point is quite similar to the already existing cluster, so you assign them. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I said it other way around. Okay. If that distance is greater than tau, that means this point is quite far away from the cluster. Then you form a new cluster, provided that number of cluster is not exceeding k, because k is the number of clusters. If that is the case, then you form a new cluster. That is x2 will form a new cluster, and number of cluster is now 2. Otherwise, what you have to do it, if it is the minimum case, so then you assign the point to the cluster CMIN. Okay. Now you repeat the step 1 and step 2 until all patterns are assigned to the clusters. So now again you move to the step 1. For the second point, find the nearest existing cluster. Now you have, let's say, 2 clusters. So you compute the distance from x to 2, that is 2 clusters, and then wherever that is minimum. Okay, so you take that point. If the minimum is again greater than the threshold distance, so it will form third cluster. If it is not that case, then you assign the point to the closest cluster. So let's say you have two clusters. One cluster consists the point x1, another point consists the x1, sorry, x2, x3, and now you are testing for x4. So now you compute the distance from x4 to those points, and then what you do it, you find the minimum of those points, and let's say those points is having greater than tau. Then you go for the forming another cluster, otherwise, so which is the minimum point, minimum closely located cluster, you assign the point to that that clusters. Okay, and you repeat for step 1 and step 2 until all pattern are assigned to the clusters. So you keep on doing until all point will be assigned to the clusters. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So I am feeling many students did not understand. That is why I stopped at this point.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, if d x comma c min is greater than tau, and
Hmm.
we have condition that I is greater than k, in that case, what we do?
If is I greater than k, then
Yes,
you
sir.
assign the point to the closest cluster.
Okay, sir.
So if you don't understand, please raise your voice, because I thought ki actually board work was required. But I already shared the slide, so you can go through also. Slide as well as the video is already shared. But as I said, ki you must understand while I am teaching. If you don't understand, you raise your voice, then I should address it. And generally, I don't ask question like you note down, write down the algorithm and this, that. I generally ask the numerical question only. So here, as I said, ki maybe what will happen that if the same question I may ask ki, how do you assign the points if the number of cluster exceed by the user parameter? So where that point will go? So answer is it will go to the closest point. So I will not simply ask this one. I will give some numerical figure, and then you need to identify it. Okay. So what is the advantage? Advantage that
Excuse me,
yes,
sir.
yes.
Sir,
Uh,
so in the beginning, what should be the distance threshold tau?
that you need to provide.
The random value.
Not random value. You should know from the domain knowledge. Okay. That is difficult, but you should know. Say, suppose in a particular area you want to apply some clustering approach, right? So you know that which area you want to apply, and then you should have a little knowledge about the what is called is about the domain. Then only you do any kind of data mining task. So that is something called domain knowledge. Okay. let's say I want to apply some classification technique or clustering technique on the students. Okay, then I should know what type of features that students should have, what type of attributes students should have. Okay, and then whether these are categorical attributes or numerical attributes and so on. And what is the what is called is say let's say you know the 50% of the students from the Odisha in BTech. So this information is priorly we should know it. That is something called domain knowledge. Okay, so that can help you to identify the what is called threshold and the number of clusters. So nevertheless, actually, what happened? These are the very old clustering technique. It is hardly used, but in some cases, for before applying state of the clustering approach, one can use this clustering approach as the basis. Okay, so therefore this has the relevance. Along with that, say this is not the very golden standard for to get the right results. So if you have a queries, please go through, then it will be much clear for you to understand the concept. So it is single data scan. That means, so there is a loop, but if you, yes,
Well, in the initial state, clustering is given. Yes, clustering.
I didn't get you.
Well, in the initial state, some clustering is given.
Whether clustering will be included in mid-sim or not, that is your question.
So in the initial stage, only data is given, and some clustering is also given.
I could not hear exactly the very
Sir,
clear.
he is asking like in the initial stage, data is given or clusters are given? Like that he is asking.
Only data will be given, and the number of cluster will be informed and threshold will be informed. Okay.
Okay.
So what is the complexity? What is the time complexity of the previous algorithm? So order of kn. How it is coming? Because for each object, what you are doing, you are computing distance from the object to the each cluster. Okay.
So time complexity depend on the number of I, means the element in the one cluster.
How?
Sir, I'm asking that.
No. Why you are asking? What is the intention behind it?
Sir, like if I value means I am asking like is there any threshold for I value for any cluster, like this much number of element can be there in one cluster?
No.
Okay.
No. No, your question is a very good question, but I want to know why did you ask this question?
Sir, I thought, sir, like for any cluster like C1, C2, sir, is there any threshold like only this much element or data should be there
No.
in one cluster?
No. So if the points are very close to each other, okay, so therefore all points can go within a threshold. So therefore there may be huge number of points in a cluster only.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it depends on the distribution of the data over the feature space. Okay. If the points are very dense in one region, so therefore the all points will go in single cluster.
Yes.
But how that time complexity is coming order of n? Can one explain?
Sir, because we are calculating distance from each cluster of each point. There is k clusters and there are n number of points. So for n number of points, we calculate n times the distance. That's why. It is,
So how do you compute the distance from one point to the clusters?
sir, we will consider one point in each cluster as the distance of a cluster.
Okay.
Then we compute the distance from a new point to each clusters. Then which one is minimum, we'll assign that
Okay.
one cluster to.
Yeah. So see here, one thing I did not tell. So in that previous slide, we said ki you find the nearest existing clusters. That is I said, right? Find the nearest existing clusters. Okay. So question is, you need to compute the distance. Now in a cluster there may be 10 points, and what you need to compute? You need to compute the distance from the new point to the clusters. So how do you define the distance? If you see, distance function always take the 2 points from the feature space. So therefore, you have a cluster has 10 points and you have another point. So question is, how do you compute distance from the new point to the all clusters point? So there are different ways you can compute. So what you can do it, you have 10 points. Among the 10 points, you can find one point as the representative of the 10 points. Therefore, you will get the 1 points, and then you know how to compute distance between one point to another point, and then obviously you can compute the distance. This is, you can do one thing. Otherwise, what you can do it, as few minutes before said, ki there is no limit of the number of points in a cluster. Okay. So in that case, what you can do it, you compute the distance from the new point to the all points in the cluster, and then whichever is the minimum you can consider. So that one is the distance from the point to clusters. So please note that I am using two terms. One is the distance from point to point, another is distance from point to clusters. But clusters consist of say more than 1 point. So while computing distance from point to clusters, how do you do it? I said what you can do, within a cluster you can find one point as the representative point, and then you compute the distance point to the representative point. So that distance will say you, okay, this is the distance from point to the clusters. Otherwise, what you can do it, you can compute the distance from one point, that is new point, to the all points in the clusters, and whichever is the minimum, you can consider that. Even you can consider the maximum of that, that is also okay. That we will see in the hierarchical clustering. Okay. This is the time complexity, and what is the disadvantage? So disadvantage is the number of clusters and the threshold both you have to provide. So that is many cases it is really difficult to provide the number of clusters, and even the number of cluster might be easier, but providing distance is really a difficult problem. So as I said, this was the very long back, so more than 40, yeah, more than 50 years before. So that time it was really good algorithm, but now we have a many methods, so therefore it is hardly used. But in big data scenario, this may help in the one variant of this algorithm is called the leaders clustering algorithm. That may help if you know the number, you know the distance. So in the next clustering approach, we'll see the out of the two threshold, two user provided parameters, we can reduce by one. So this is something called leaders clustering method. As you can see that it was appeared in 1975 in a book written by Hartigan. Okay. So here is something called leaders clustering method. It is a little different from earlier. What do you do it? So first point is assigned to the cluster. So that is cluster is nothing but leader. And for each of the rest of the point, what you do it? If there is a leader such that it is tau distance, then you assign the point to the cluster. So earlier what we are doing, we are computing the distance from point to the all clusters and you are taking minimum. So instead of that, you start computing distance from the point to the all cluster representative, and wherever it is minimum, wherever it is lesser than threshold, then you assign the point here. We are not computing the distance from the new point to the all clusters. So we are going one by one. Wherever the distance is lesser than tau, we are assigning the point into the clusters. Right? If there is no such leader, that means if there is no such leader that within the tau distance, then you form a new cluster and then new points will form the leader of the clusters or representative. So clusters and leaders are here quite synonym. So that first point will be treated as a representative point of the group of the points. So that is something called the leader. Then it outputs the only the set of points. Okay. Do you have any confusion?
Means distance of leader as from threshold is always a standard. Then only we can choose a leader. So like threshold value is something 4, then that leader distance should be 2 like that.
No, it is not clear to me.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
I am
we-
asking like, is there any particular value for leader? Like if threshold is something like 5, then leader should have 3. Then
No,
only
no,
we
no,
can.
no, 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 not like that. See, leader is number, right?
Yes, sir.
Threshold is that is a distance. Okay. And this is a number. Let's say distance is measured in centimeter. Okay, or say kilometer or so whatever it is. Okay, unit. But this is the number. How many cluster or how many leaders? Two are different. There is no relation. So obviously, if you increase the distance, okay, the number of leaders will reduce. If you reduce the distance, the number of leaders will be increased. So that type of relation is there. But as such, I don't know what exactly you wanted to know. Do you want to know this one? That is there any relation between number of distance threshold
Yes,
and the
sir.
number? Okay,
Yes.
obviously that will be there. Obviously that will be there. If you increase the threshold distance, okay, so there may be all data points will be in a single cluster, or it will form only one leader. Okay, so what is that? So you compute the distance from one point to the all other points. Okay, and then what you do it? So whichever the distance is maximum, you take that threshold. So therefore, all points will come into a single cluster. And then what you can do? You can compute one point to the all other points. So it is a distance matrix you compute and you take the minimum. So if you take the threshold minimum of that, then obviously the each point will form a leader. So therefore, number of points in a data set will be the number of leaders. Okay. So therefore, minimum value of leader is 1 and maximum value is the number of data set. Yeah, you have a right observation. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So leaders find semi-spherical clusters because we are computing Euclidean distance. So therefore, what will have distance from this point to this point is tau. However, distance from this point to other points will be twice tau because it is a diameter is twice tau. Okay. So if it is just above tau, so obviously it will form a new cluster. Let's say you form a cluster here. Okay. So therefore there will be overlap between the points, but there won't be any overlap between the points. The points which appear first to a cluster, that will be assigned to that cluster. But shape of the cluster will be something like that. Okay. The shape will change if we use instead of Euclidean distance, if we use suppose L1 distance, then that shape will change. There are drawbacks of the leaders clustering method. So maybe I will end with this slide. Yeah, this is good to stop here. So clustering results are order dependent. That means if we apply clustering method starting from the first point to the last point, And if you start the clustering method, your friends start clustering approach, same clustering approach, taking the middle point and you move forward or backward or upward or downward, then what you will get? You will get different cluster leader set, and then your friends will get different leader set. So that is the clustering results are order dependent. Ideally, if whatever the data set, you can present data set, you can shuffle it, and then you can run the clustering approach. Ideally, you should get the same cluster, same set of clusters, same set of representative point, or so on. So this is a major drawback for the clustering approach. This is another serious drawback. Distance between follower of the different clusters or leaders may be lesser than the corresponding leaders. Okay, so this drawback I will make you understand, and then I will stop it. So what it says, follower is nothing but the points within a leaders are called the follower. So we have a relation like leaders and followers, right? Similarly here, that leaders is the first point which form the new clusters or new leader, that is called leader, and then rest of the point assigned to the leader is called the followers. Now what the statement it says, distance between followers of different clusters may be less than the corresponding leader. Please note that it has the very important consequence with compared to the definition of the clustering approach. Distance between follower of different cluster. Let's say this is the follower of the cluster LX, and another is Y. This is the point Y. So Y is again the follower of the cluster LY. Please try to understand here. Maybe I can. Yeah. Maybe more. Yeah. Here we say. Here this point we say X. This point is a follower of LX, and we have another point Y, which is the follower of leader LY. Now distance from X to Y is this distance. Okay, and distance from LX to LY is greater than tau. That is why this point become another leader, because distance is above tau. Now you see the leader's distance is above tau. However, the corresponding follower distance is lesser than tau. Okay. So, but what is the consequence with the definition of clustering approach? Definition of clustering approach, we clearly said, if you take 2 points from the same cluster will be much closer or similarity will be more. So because we are computing distance, so therefore it will be much lesser distance than if you take 2 points from the 2 clusters. That is, we said in the definition of cluster. Now what is happening here? If you take 2 points from the same cluster, let's say this is a point X and this is another point, this is a point X and this is LX. So whatever the distance, that should be much closer if you take the 2 points from the 2 different clusters, that is X and Y. But this is not happening. That was the original definition of clustering approach. But here this same thing is not happening. What is happening? If you take 2 points from the 2 different clusters, ideally that should be apart. Then if you take 2 points from the same cluster, that is not happening in leaders clustering method. Please try to understand. Here distance from X to Y, and these are from the different 2 clusters. So this distance you can see it. However, if you take the distance from the 2 points from the same cluster, that is X and LX. So X and LX, this distance is, or say let's say, yeah, X and LX is higher than the distance from 2 points from a different cluster. So this is really violating the original definition of the clustering approach. So this is another serious drawback of the leaders clustering approach. So if you have a points, please make it, ask questions, whatever I taught. No question.
Hello, sir.
No question. That it seems I am teaching really good.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in BSA's algorithm, we will be taking distance from all the points.
For what?
For any new points, we will be taking distance for all the earlier points that has been assigned for any all clusters.
No. We will only compute the distance from the new point to the clusters. Now each cluster will have a representative point. Any point you can consider as a representative point, and then from there we will compute the distance.
So that is same as leaders now.
Leaders is not exactly the same way. Why? So leaders, initially the points which will appear, we are considering that point is the leaders. But in earlier we never talk actually which point will be the representative point. So it is up to you that which point you can consider the representative point. If you don't consider the first point is representative point, obviously it is not going to the same, you won't get the same results. What you can do, say if you have a 10 points, so you take the average of these 10 points and that will be considered as the representative point.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
No more question.
Sir, one more difference between leaders and that first method is that we assign the point to the leader which is less than tau. The distance between that point and the leader is less than tau. We don't go for all the clusters present in the.
Yes.
Okay,
Good.
sir.
Obviously. Acha, just I want to share something with you. Yeah, let me stop it here. And where is my browser? Yeah. Can you see my slide?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this was the question from the last year. Okay. So yeah, it is the end semester question. Okay. So let D be the data set given below. Apply leaders clustering method in the distance threshold tau. Report the clustering result. Use L1 distance function. Show the details computation. So this was the one question. Then what can be the maximum distance between two followers of a leader with distance threshold tau? What will be the answer for this question? Okay, this will take time. Can you answer this one?
Sir, tau.
What can be the maximum distance between
Two tau,
followers of a leader?
two tau. Sir, equals to the diameter of a cluster, that is maybe 2 tau.
It will be 2 tau. And then what can be the maximum distance between a follower and its leaders?
Sir, it's tau.
It is tau. Yeah. So this is another question. Let X, B, C be the 3 points in a matrix space. So that distance is greater than distance. If there is a theorem here that is asked to prove it. Probably I will cover this one. I didn't cover. Okay. Because actually end sem basically I used to ask question only from the clustering. Okay. Yeah, no, there are some questions from other part also. Anyway, so I stop at this point. So maybe again Tuesday we'll meet. Okay. Okay, bye.